All right, so we are going to get started today. Now that we are so good with fractions, we're going to learn how to use them to do a lot of things. Is it something you need that I would need to interrupt? We're going to add with them, we're going to subtract with them, we're going to multiply them, and we're going to divide them. All of that in topic 10. Okay? So today we're going to add and subtract, but the good news is we're going to keep our denominators the same, and that makes things a lot easier. So how do we add or subtract fractions that have the same denominator? That's our question. When you look at a fraction, what does the bottom number, the denominator, tell you? It tells you all of them. It tells you the total, all of it, right? So there's 8 of something. What does the top number or the numerator tell us? How many they're asking for, right? Okay, so in this particular question, we have a map here. And this map is of an amusement park. So as we add or subtract fractions, our denominator today is always going to stay the same because it's going to be the same for both. It's our numerator that's going to change. We're going to either add those numerators or subtract them. So these two kids were going to an amusement park and they were going on some roller coasters. They went on 2 of them in the morning. Then in the afternoon, they were going to go on 5 more. Okay, so first of all, we know that the bottom number in our fraction is 8 because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 roller coasters. 2 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon. We can set up a problem using those 2 fractions, comparing them or putting them together. Now today you may see your fractions being up and down or side to side. It's not going to matter to you because you're not going to have to change them. So if we added 2/8 plus 7/8, we would get our total answer, which is 7/8. 2/8 plus 5/8 equals 7/8. Okay. All right. If we wrote it out, we would write it like this. Or side to side would be fine too. How do you know that 7/8 is in simplest form? Sarah?
Because they're one number apart.
They are only one number apart, and that's a great sign that tells you it's in simplest form. Okay. Let's take a look at the first example. I want you to think about what would be the original fraction, and then if we need to simplify it, we can try to do that in our head, or I can write it on the board. Cole. It is 2/4. Okay, how do you know that we can simplify that? They are both even numbers. Anytime you see both even numbers, you know for sure 2 will work, maybe even something bigger. He said 1/2. How do you know 1/2 is in simplest form? They are one number apart. And as long as a numerator is 1, you know that it's in simplest form. Good work. Now, you are going to get so good at this that you're going to be able to do some of these in your head, like this one. What would be our original answer? Emma? 2/6. Because it's so small down there, I'm going to write my answer here. Can I box that? Am I done? Is it simplified? What can I divide both of those by, Alexis? 2, because they're both even. Now, if you can do this in your head, that's fab. But if you can't, write it out. What would be my simplified answer, Erin? 1/3. I know this is simple because it has a 1 as our numerator. Oh, don't worry. They'll get a little bit harder. Well, 8/9. That was easier. I thought they were going to get harder. Oh, here we go. Kiara, tell me what the original answer is going to be. 11/7. Okay, why can't I leave an answer like that? America? It is an improper fraction. What do I do to an improper fraction to make it a mixed number? You do divide. I'm going to do it up here. How many?
1.
So how do I write that?
Circle. 1 and 4 sevenths.
Simple?
Yeah.
It is. So I'm done. Whoops. That's right. That's what my grandpa used to say. Kaylin? We're subtracting. 2/12, she says. Okay, done?
No.
Dathan says we need to. We can divide them both by 2 and we get 1/6. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right, so first, let's try some examples on your smartboard, or on your iPad, excuse me. Okay, let's try some examples. We'll start out easier and get a little bit tougher. If you can, absolutely. Anytime. You don't ever have to ask. You just get up and get it. Okay. My first problem is a subtraction problem, and it goes like this. Now you can write this out, or if you feel like you can do it in your head, just write down the answer on your iPad. I need to give everybody a little time. Sam? Is? Five tenths. Am I done? He's thinking about it. Is there anything other than 1 that I can divide both 5 and 10 by? What can I divide them both by? This is an odd number. We can't divide 5 by 2. Yeah, we can divide them both by 5. So I would get what for a final answer, Sam? Oh, we're dividing. 5 divided by 5 is? 1. And 10 divided by 5 is? There you go. There is your final answer, 1/2. I think there's more to do than what you're thinking, Sam. Sarah?
10 sevenths.
But that's not it.
No.
No.
Then we have to divide.
Mm-hmm.
Divide by 7.
And you would get?
And you would get 1, remainder 3.
You would.
And then you would write out with a big number 1. And then 3 sevenths.
Is that in simplest form?
Yes.
It is. This is it right here. Did anybody else get this one right? This was a tougher one. Good work. Everybody has to recognize the fact that if it's an improper fraction, you have to change it. You might even have to change it and then simplify it. Like this one. You know it? Okay, well, you can share with me if you do. Oh, okay. I was just asking. Aiden? It is. You're right. It is a whole. But we still need to do the problem. Aaron L? Tell me how you got that. We have to actually add the problem. We have to do the first step. Yeah, you have to do this first. At least in your head. I'm guessing you did, but you forgot about it. Now he says we have to divide those out, which we do. And he said that he got, whoops, 1 3/6. But he simplified it. And he got 1.5. Good job, Aaron L. There you go. Does anybody have a question on this problem? So not only did we have to add, we had to switch our improper fraction to a mixed number, and then we had to simplify it because it wasn't simple. Lots to do. America? How did you get that?
Because 11 minus 7 equals 4, and the denominator is 4, and 4 is 1 whole.
Okay, I like how you said that, except there was one little word that didn't make sense. You said 4 and 4.
4 over 4.
Thank you. 4 over 4, because the bar means to do what? Divide. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Can somebody give me another example of a fraction that means the same thing as 1 whole? Alan?
5, 6.
Kiara? Dathan? Caden? Will? Brendan? All of these mean 1 whole. Now, what if I have 14 over 7? That's an improper fraction, isn't it? It is. But it also is a basic division problem. So if I ended up with an answer that looked like this, what is it the same thing as? Alan? No. Huh, definitely not 1/2. Will? Yeah, which is just the same thing as 2. I heard Brendan say that too. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So if you end up with an answer that looks like this, you can just divide it out. What if you ended up with an answer that looked like this? Again, it's an improper fraction, but what would the final answer be, Sarah?
4.
4, you bet. You bet. Okay, we're going to play a game. And okay, give me 1 second and I will pass these out.